Welcome, friends, back to the Bottom Shelf Project,
Greetings.
where we do it so you don't have to. And as you can tell by my half-empty bottle here, today's offering is Old Grandad Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. This is
How
one
come
of
none of the bourbons are gay?
because they're in Kentucky and it's illegal.
All right.
Old Grandad here was picked up at Total Wine for, I believe, $13
Get drunk for cheap.
for cheap, like your granddad did.
Get drunk for cheap.
And they even label this as the granddaddy of bourbon. The interesting thing about this is a higher rye mash bill. Now, bourbon by law has to be at least 51% corn, but it can be a higher percentage of corn. This has, they don't state the quality of rye in it, but rye, again, typically makes things a little bit spicier, a little bit more lively.
It does say high rye.
And it says high rye, which...
Not high rise.
No.
That's a different thing.
Yeah. And I will give it to these guys. They say they've been around since 1882.
Well, okay,
Full
let's
body
be
flavor.
honest though. The last one that said claimed it had been around that long was god awful.
So, just because it's old...
Don't make it good.
No.
So,
Now, another spoiler. This is not mostly empty because I've been nursing on this. This is mostly empty because about a cup and a half was used to make chili. So, pro tip. Some of the recipes out there call for a little bit of bourbon in your chili.
I've never done that.
Turns out really well.
I need to try that.
So, we're going to open this
She
fine.
would- She would not accept that one. I think I'd
Probably
make
not.
that for myself.
Yeah, probably not. Fine screw cap.
Oh, well, it's a winner.
The true sign of a bottom shelf whiskey. Pour that right there.
On our spiffy Pacific Rim coasters, because, we're going to cancel the apocalypse. Unless this is the apocalypse.
So, quick nosing. So I'll begin saying that despite their stating that it's a high rye mash bill, the first thing that stands out to me is the corn.
Corn, yeah.
It's
Yep.
sweet.
Mm-hmm.
It
Took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say, that's the first thing you smell. And you can smell before you even get to your nose to the glass.
Oh, yeah.
You start to smell the corn before you even get it up.
and this is like driving through Nebraska. You roll the windows down, there's corn.
There's corn, yeah. When I lived in Kentucky, our backyard was a cornfield. It was from our bedroom window to the farmer's cornfield was maybe 20 feet. And you just smell corn.
And it's not a complex smell. I really don't pick up notes of much of anything other than that.
That's pretty much it.
Maybe a little bit of grain, but almost all of it's corn.
That and of course you can smell the alcohol.
Yeah. And considering the bottle, to me this is a bit of a plus. It's not pretentious.
It's not. No, it is what it is. It ain't pretentious. Just like your granddad was pretentious. Your granddad told you how it was.
So let's see if this is going to live up to that
Those expectations.
those expectations.
I ain't mad at it.
It's not an easy sipper.
Oh,
A little bit of bitter
yeah. No, not a lot. A lot.
on the aftertaste.
And an acrid bitter.
Mm-hmm.
Not like a coffee bitter. It's more like a bitter's bitter. It's really intense.
It's a woody bitter to me. It tastes a lot like the smell of an empty wet barrel. Almost like a pine bitterness, like the bitter, acrid smell of pine tar. But it's definitely a woodiness. Now, it's sweet on the initial taste.
You're not going to appreciate this.
Okay.
You're not going to appreciate what I'm going to say. The aftertaste of this has that wormwood bitterness, like the Malort.
You know, you're not wrong. I had not thought about that, but you are not wrong at all.
That's what it tastes like.
Now, another spoiler, quick for you. I don't drink this straight. I will not drink this straight. I do not drink it neat. over ice or just plain up neat. It's just, it's got a classic bottom shelf flavor to it.
Unfortunately, it tastes like you mixed a bottle of whiskey with a bottle of Malort. That's what it tastes like.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
Not,
you're
not
wrong
as
about
much. Not a bottle of Malort. You just put a little bit of Malort. Or maybe not even Malort. Maybe a little absinthe. That wormwood bitterness is in there. Is what
it.
it
Not the
tastes like.
anise, not the black licorice flavor, just the bitterness. That, to me, the absinthe, the primary flavor for me is black licorice. I think the initial flavor, sweet, it's thin.
It's that back taste, man.
Yeah.
It just takes me right to
Oh, the other flavors don't hang around. They're gone. Once you swallow it, gone.
And then it goes right to that Malort bitterness, and I can't do it.
Mm.
It's
Yeah, it does have a strong, bitter flavor to it. Now, the way that I typically do drink this,
and
Would
again,
be-
not like a coffee bitterness, not like
a medicinal bitterness.
almost a sour bitterness. It's
Mhm.
kind of soury.
And again, because of that, it's a
Like-
bit off-putting. That's why I say this is kind of a classic bottom shelf whiskey kind of. It doesn't give you that upfront flavor.
It also doesn't give you that upfront flavor.
No,
You know,
no, it's unassuming. The initial flavor is what I would expect from that nose, but afterwards, and it's got a strong burn to it too.
Yeah, but it lingers too,
It hangs around.
and you don't want it to. It's like that guy that hangs around and that you don't want hanging around.
After the party's over.
Yeah, it's
Just
like
doesn't want to leave. When I have sampled this at home, I've used it in a very sweet old fashioned. I take a good teaspoonful of brown sugar and some kind of flavored bitters. So the one that I used with this was cardamom, but I've also used chocolate in the past as well, and I've used grapefruit bitters.
I could see that helping this.
Yeah. And of course, along with orange zest to try and give it a little bit of brightness too. And all that together, and then with some ice. And when I make my old fashions, it has to sit for about 30 seconds to a minute just to let that ice get in there, get a little friendly, not only to lower the temperature to alter the flavor profile, but to also to give a little bit of water in there to knock some of those essential oils out and rise them to the top. So it would not be my go-to, but it's okay.
It's definitely going to need to go into a cocktail.
Yeah. So this is not a sipper.
And you know I could see that going into like a penicillin, the honey and ginger.
Yeah.
And
those are, but again, strong flavors
yeah,
to compensate.
yeah, yeah. It needs something to compensate for it, and then it would be an okay mixer. You definitely don't want to be drinking this straight, because it's just not good.
Well, I didn't think it's bad,
I do.
but again, this is it's a unitasker. It's kind of a whiskey version of vodka. It's something that needs to be used as something else.
Yeah, no, I mean,
It's a
I can see
component.
that. If you're going to put it in something,
It's that spice that's in the back of your cabinet that you hardly ever use, but when you use it, it fits a role.
yeah. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying though is this is not the role.
No. I wholeheartedly agree with that. In the fact that this is not a sipper,
This is-
whether it be neat over ice.
No.
Either way, this is not something I would go to.
No, that's what I'm saying.
whatsoever.
That's all I'm saying.
And if you were really looking for a cheap bourbon, there are others out there that I think would fit the bill far better than this. The Fighting Cock was a better bourbon than this.
yeah.
Now, neat Fighting Cock, it got all its anger out up front.
Yeah, but and once you put a little bit of ice into it,
This waits for you to turn its back. Then you get the knife.
yeah.
If I give it some thought, I could probably think of a few other really inexpensive bourbons that would probably fit the bill as a daily sipper much better than this. This is just not, even the Ezra Williams, which was not a great bourbon to me at all. I don't think we gave that seal of approval. That was a better bourbon than this.
We had different grades. I would put it at a strong C-.
So considering it is what it is, if we were going to improve it, what would be some of your thoughts?
Again, it's something strong like a penicillin, where you're using honey and ginger and lemon, and getting all these strong flavors to overpower that bitterness.
See, I would not want to do this as a Godfather. because just
No,
this and
no.
amaretto together,
Would be-
no,
No.
it wouldn't work.
No, you need a lot. You need. I think you like an old fashioned. You've got a lot of flavors in there. There's different flavors. I think you need multiple flavors in that
Yeah.
cocktail. Like you can't do like a grandfather, where it's just one mixer. I don't even think a bourbon and Coke's gonna do you.
Yeah,
But
I was thinking something along the lines of mint julep, but that for me calls for a more refined bourbon.
it does too.
This
I
is-
wouldn't want that bitterness in my mint julep.
Yeah.
I don't want that bitterness in my mint.
Yeah, this Grand Dog doesn't wear shoes.
No.
Now I will say the chili that was made by this was really good.
But that's what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to have something where it's got a lot of really strong, intense flavors to balance out that bitterness. And
Oh,
I think we've made Manhattan or
Yeah.
old fashioned penicillin.
if you were going to make something really complex like a Long Island iced tea, where this is one of many components,
Perfectly fine.
that would be fine.
That's perfectly fine.
To me, this is when I first saw this. And by the way, I love the label, the simplicity, the retro look of it. It's really cool looking on the bar.
Maybe a whiskey sour. Because
Yeah.
sour makes it so strong.
Yeah, I'm not big
Maybe-
into whiskey sours, but I could see that happening.
Maybe a whiskey.
To me, this is kind of a penultimate bar brand, shelf brand.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
If you were looking to take a shot, it's not going to be the best shot you've ever had, but it'd be palatable as a shot because you're probably going to chase it with something.
yeah.
This is a George Thorogood whiskey.
Yeah.
If you chase this with a beer, it'd be fine because that beer would balance out the bitterness.
Yeah.
Now, I, for one, do not drink beer with my whiskey,
I don't.
but if you are one of those types, this may be a good, cheap alternative for you.
Yeah. You know what? If I were in college, you give me that and a 6-pack of PBR, my Friday night's taken care of, right?
I'd still rather have Cisco.
Well, yeah, I would too. Because I have.
Now, I don't know if I would choose this over Mad Dog.
Depends what mood I'm in. Mad Dog's me more of a fun. If I'm angry, give me this and some PBR.
I see the wisdom.
If I'm in a bad mood, you give me this and some PBR, my Friday night square.
Yeah, I will say this, that since we're pontificating, I could easily, in the wrong hands, I could see this turning into an argument in a bottle. Or a fist fight. Because this is an angry kind of
It
liquor.
is an angry whiskey. It is an angry whiskey.
It's drinkable, but it's an angry whiskey. All the bad publicity tequila gets,
Oh,
this could live up to.
yeah.
So there you have it. We're not even going to bother trying to improve it because it is what it is. I think that bitterness is going to shine through no matter what we mix it with. So old granddad, let him stay in the home.
He needs some assisted living.
Until next time.